The broken alien girl in the middle of a busy night market on the planet Silo, under a cold and flickering neon sign, a lonely alien girl stood. Her name was Rena. She was small and thin, her skin a soft silver blue, her big yellow eyes full of sadness and hope. Her left leg was gone, cut off above the knee. In its place was only a wrapped cloth, dirty and worn. She leaned against an old crate for support. In her hands, she held a cardboard sign for sale, enough to buy a new leg. People passed by, busy with their own lives. The market was loud with strange voices and the smell of cooked food. Bright lights flashed everywhere. There were aliens from many planets, tall and short, green and pink, with fur, feathers, or even scales. But none of them looked at Rena for more than a second. Some saw her and turned away. Others whispered to each other and laughed. A few even looked scared and stepped around her as if she was a problem to avoid. Rena shivered in the cold. Her stomach was empty. She had not eaten for 2 days. She was tired, but she could not sit down. If she did, she might fall asleep and someone might steal her sign or her small bag. She needed to be strong. She needed to sell herself. She needed a new leg. Her mind went back to her old life. She once lived on a bright green planet called Valoria, full of flowers and singing birds. She had a family, a mother with gentle hands, a father with a big laugh, and a little brother who always wanted to play. But war came. Soldiers from another world attacked Valoria. There was fire, noise, and fear everywhere. Rena's home was destroyed. In the chaos, she lost her leg. Her family disappeared. She ran and ran until she found a ship full of refugees. The ship brought her to Xylo. She had nothing left except her memories and her hope. Now, in the market, hope was all she had. She believed that someone might help her, maybe even buy her. Not as a slave, she hoped, but maybe as a worker or a friend. She wanted a new leg so she could run again, work, and maybe even dance. But hour after hour passed. No one stopped. No one cared. A group of boys walked by. They pointed at her, made jokes, and one of them tried to touch her sign. She pulled it away, her eyes full of fear and anger. The boys laughed and left. Rena held back her tears. She told herself to be strong. She whispered to herself, "Tomorrow will be better. Someone will help me. I just need to wait." Night became deeper. The market was less busy now. Most sellers packed their things. Some food stalls were closing, their lights turning off one by one. Only a few people remained. Rena's legs hurt. She was about to give up, about to sit down and rest, when a strange feeling made her look up. Someone was standing in front of her. It was a human man, tall and thin, wearing a long black coat and a hat that hid his face. His eyes were strange, cold but not unkind. Rena's heart beat faster. She did not know if he was dangerous or safe. He stood very still, looking at her. "Sign." For a long moment, he said nothing. The silence felt heavy. Rena wanted to speak, but her voice felt trapped inside her chest. The man's eyes moved from her sign to her missing leg. He did not look away, not like the others. Finally, the man spoke. His voice was calm and deep. "Why are you for sale?" he asked. It was not a joke or a trick. It was a real question. Rena swallowed hard. Her lips were dry. She said, "I need a new leg. I cannot work. No one will help me. If I sell myself, maybe someone will give me a prosthetic leg. Maybe I can be useful again." The man watched her for another moment. His face showed no emotion, but his eyes seemed to think very hard. He did not laugh. He did not turn away. He simply stood there, thinking. "Why do you want to walk again?" asked softly. Rena blinked. The question was strange. Of course, she wanted to walk. She wanted to live. But she tried to answer. Because I want to move. I want to run. I want to feel alive. I want to find my family. I cannot do anything without a leg. The man nodded slowly. He looked around, making sure no one was watching. Then he stepped closer. "Do you trust me?" he whispered. Rena was scared. She remembered all the warnings. Do not trust strangers. Humans are dangerous. But in this moment, she had nothing left to lose. She nodded, just a little. "Yes," she whispered. The man smiled, just a little. "Good," he said. "Wait here." He turned and disappeared into the shadows of the market. Rena stood very still, her heart pounding. She did not know if he would return. She did not know if he was good or bad. But for the first time in many days, she felt something new, hope mixed with fear. Would this be the end of her story, or just the beginning? Rena waited under the neon sign, feeling more alone than ever. The man in the black coat had left her with only a promise. Wait here. She did not know if he would return, or if he was just another trickster in a world that did not care about broken things. The market grew quiet. A cold wind made her shiver. She tried to keep her eyes open, but tiredness pulled at her like a heavy blanket. Each minute felt like an hour. She stared at the ground, holding her cardboard sign with numb fingers. For sale, enough to buy a new leg. Just as she was about to give up, she heard slow footsteps. She looked up, afraid it was the laughing boys again. But no, it was the same man. He was holding a small bag and something that looked like a warm, fresh bread roll. Steam rose from it in the cold night air. He stopped in front of her and handed her the bread. "Eat this," he said, his voice still calm and gentle. Rena's hunger was stronger than her fear. She took the bread and ate quickly, feeling its warmth fill her empty stomach. For the first time in days, she almost smiled. The man watched her in silence. When she finished eating, he sat down on the crate next to her. He set his bag on the ground. "You said you wanted to walk again. Why do you think nobody wants to help you?" he asked, looking out into the dark market. Rena shrugged, not sure what to say. "People are afraid. They think I'm unlucky. Maybe I am. They don't like how I look. I'm not strong. I'm not pretty, and I'm not from here." The man nodded as if he understood. He opened his bag and pulled out a small, old book. He handed it to her. On the cover, in faded letters, was written, "Dreams of Lost Stars." Rena turned the book in her hands. She had not read anything since leaving Valoria. The pages smelled like home, like dust and hope. She opened the first page. There was a picture of a bird with a broken wing, trying to fly. The man spoke again. "This was my daughter's book. She was sick. People said she was broken too, but I believed in her. I believe in you, too." Rena's eyes widened. "Where is she now?" she asked softly. The man's face became sad. "She's gone. Long ago, but I remember her hope. She never gave up. That's why I'm here." He pointed to her leg. "I can help you, but not the way you think." Rena's hands shook. "How?" she asked. "You have money for a leg?" The man shook his head. "No, but I have something better. I'm an engineer. I build things. Machines, prosthetic parts. Not perfect, but they work. I can make a leg for you, but you must trust me. And you must leave this place, now." Rena felt a mix of hope and fear again. Leave, with a stranger. But what choice did she have? She looked at the market, at the empty stalls, the cold ground. There was nothing here for her except pain and not hunger still. Something inside her wanted to know more about this strange man. "Why me?" she asked. "You don't even know me." The man smiled a little, but his eyes were serious. "I know what it's like to lose everything. I know what it's like to want a second chance. I help people like you people, nobody. Else once, suddenly, Rena noticed movement out of the corner of her eye. Two men in dark uniforms were walking toward them, their faces hard and unfriendly. "That's her," one of them said. "The alien girl. She's trouble." The man stood up quickly, grabbing Rena's arm. "We have to go. Now." He pulled her up. Rena's heart pounded. She tried to keep up, but moving with one leg was hard. The man was strong and careful. He put her arm over his shoulder to help her walk faster. The two uniformed men followed, shouting, "Stop! She's not allowed here. She belongs to the government now." Fear shot through Rena's body. She did not want to go back to the camps, to the cold beds and the cruel guards. She clung tightly to the man. They turned into a narrow alley behind the market. Trash bins and boxes made the way difficult, but the man seemed to know every corner. He whispered, "Don't be afraid." Almost there. Behind them, the shouts grew louder. Rena's heart thumped like a drum. She bit her lip to stop from crying. Out the man led her through a maze of back streets, turning left, then right, then left again, until even she was lost. Finally, they stopped behind a broken-down shop with a faded sign. Repairs, machines, and dreams. The man knocked twice on the metal door. It slid open with a loud creak. Inside was darkness, but also safety. He pulled Rena in, closed the door, and locked it tight. She leaned against the wall, shaking. The man knelt in front of her, looked into her eyes, and said quietly, "You are safe now. My name is Jonas, and you are not broken. Not anymore." Rena hugged the book to her chest. For the first time, she wondered if she might really have a future with hope, and maybe even a new leg. Outside, the sound of angry voices faded away. Inside, the world felt quiet and strange and full of new possibilities. Inside the old shop, the air smelled of metal, oil, and something sweet like old fruit. Rena could finally breathe without fear. She pressed her back against the cold wall, still shaking from the chase. Jonas, the strange man who had saved her, locked the door and checked the window twice. Only then did he turn on a small light. The room filled with a soft glow. Rena saw shelves full of strange tools and small machines, some broken, some half-finished. In the corner was a workbench, covered in wires and shining metal parts. Rena had never seen a place like this. It was messy, but it felt alive. Jonas put his coat and hat on a hook. His hair was dark and messy. He looked tired, but his eyes were still full of focus. "You can sit," he said gently. Rena nodded and moved slowly to a wooden chair. It creaked under her weight. She felt embarrassed about her missing leg, but was too tired to hide it now. Jonas made tea with water from a small kettle. He handed her a steaming cup. It was bitter, but the warmth felt good in her hands. For a few moments, neither of them spoke. Then Jonas began, "You asked me before, why you? Why would I help a stranger?" Rena nodded, her voice small. "Yes, people only help if they want something. What do you want from me?" Jonas sat on the edge of his workbench. He looked at her for a long moment. "People think broken things are useless," he said. "But I believe broken things can be fixed. My daughter, she taught me that. When she died, I stopped fixing things for people who only cared about money. Now, I help those who have nowhere else to go." Rena's hands shook on her cup. "You said you could build me a leg." "Yes," Jonas replied, "but I cannot promise it will be perfect. It may hurt. You might never run again, but you will walk, and maybe one day dance." Rena's heart leaped at the word dance. She remembered spinning with her brother in fields of silver grass before the war. "But I do not have money," she whispered. "Not even a coin." Jonas shook his head. "I don't want money. I want something else." Rena's eyes widened. Was this a trick? Was he like the others? "What do you want?" she asked, her voice shaking. Jonas looked serious. "Trust. That's all. I need someone to help me around the shop, someone to talk to, someone who understands pain. If you stay here and help me, I will build your leg. When you are ready, you can leave. No chains, no price." Rena felt her heart squeeze tight. She had trusted people before and been betrayed. But she was also so tired, and Jonas's words sounded different. "What if I want to leave before the leg is finished?" she asked. Jonas smiled a sad smile. "Then you can. My door will not lock you in. You are free to go. I will not stop you." For a moment, Rena said nothing. She looked at her sign for sale, enough to buy a new leg. She thought about the cold, the hunger, the fear. She looked at Jonas's kind, tired eyes. She did not know if he was telling the truth, but maybe this was her only chance. She nodded. "Okay, I will help you." Jonas reached into a drawer and took out a notebook. He handed it to her. Then, "We start now. Tell me everything about your old leg size shape, how it moved, what it felt like. The more I know, the better I can build." Rena took a deep breath and began. She told him about the way her toes used to curl in the grass, how her knees sometimes ached in the rain, how she missed the feeling of jumping, even just walking. Jonas listened closely, writing notes, drawing quick sketches, as the night grew. Deeper, Jonas showed her some of his old inventions, tiny moving hands. A mechanical bird, a spider that walked on 8 thin wires. Rena watched in wonder as he made the bird flap its wings with the twist of a screw. "You really fix broken things," she said quietly. Jonas nodded. "I try. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. But I never stop trying." Suddenly, there was a loud noise outside. Both of them froze. Jonas quickly turned off the light. Through a crack in the curtain, they saw shadows moving on the street, figures in uniform, searching the alleys with flashlights. "They're still looking for you," Jonas whispered. "You must not open the door to anyone. Something happens. To me, hide in the back room." Rena's heart pounded. Even here, she was not truly safe. But Jonas put his hand gently on her shoulder. "Don't worry, I will protect you as long as I can. And tomorrow, we start building your new leg." Rena squeezed the notebook in her hands. She felt scared, but she also felt something new. Maybe it was hope, or maybe it was just the feeling that for the first time in a long time, she belonged somewhere. Outside, the search continued, but inside the shop, 2 broken people began to build something new, not just a leg, but maybe a future. Morning on Zelo came quietly, with gray clouds and a chill that crept through the broken window of Jonas's shop. Rena woke up on a pile of old blankets behind a stack of toolboxes. Her dreams had been restless, full of shadows and running feet. For a moment, she forgot where she was, till she heard Jonas humming softly in the next room. She sat up, rubbing her tired eyes. Her new world was still strange, but it felt a little safer than the night before. The air smelled of oil, metal, and warm bread. Jonas appeared in the doorway, holding a plate with 2 small buns. He smiled, tired but kind. "Hungry?" he asked. Rena nodded, accepting the food. As she ate, she watched Jonas work. He was already at his bench, surrounded by wires, metal rods, and bright glowing tools. On the table lay parts for her new leg, shiny, half-finished, and complicated. Jonas spoke as he worked. "We have to be careful. The city guards are still searching for you. I saw them last night, checking doors." Rena's heart beat faster. She tried to act brave, but fear still lived in her chest. "What if they find us?" she whispered. Jonas paused. "Then we run." "But I think I have a plan. We'll finish your leg as soon as we can. Until then, we must be quiet and smart. Suddenly, there was a loud bang on the door. Both of them jumped. Rena grabbed her old bag and limped back behind the toolboxes. Holding her breath, Jonas calmly wiped his hands and walked to the door. He peeked through the crack. Outside stood a small man in a red hat, carrying a bag of bolts. It was only Mr. Dell, the junk dealer from across the street. Jonas relaxed and opened the door just a little. "Morning, Jonas," Mr. Dell said cheerfully. "Got any old motors for me today?" "Not today, Dell," Jonas replied, forcing a smile. Busy with repairs, Mr. Dell leaned closer, lowering his voice. "Guards are everywhere. They're asking about an alien. Girl said she's dangerous. You didn't see anything, did you?" Jonas shook his head. "Nothing here. Thanks for the warning." The junk dealer nodded, tipped his hat, and shuffled away. Jonas closed the door and locked it tight. Rena slowly came out from her hiding place. "See?" Jonas whispered, his face serious. "They are searching everywhere." "We have to be careful, Rena." She nodded, her hands shaking. The feeling of being hunted made her want to disappear. But Jonas was not afraid. He had a plan, and that gave her a little courage. For hours, they worked together. Jonas taught Rena how to hold the tiny screws and how to polish the metal pieces. She told him stories about Valoria, her lost planet, and the wild animals that once ran across the silver grass. Jonas listened and sometimes laughed, and sometimes he looked sad. By afternoon, the new leg was taking shape. It was strange, shiny, and full of little moving parts. Jonas explained every step. "It may not look perfect, but it will move. We'll fit it soon. For now, practice using these tools. It will help you when your leg is ready." Rena was grateful for the distraction. For a few hours, she almost forgot about the guards and the world outside. But that peace did not last. Just as the sun dipped low, heavy boots echoed in the street outside. This time, more voices shouted, "Open up! Search order!" Jonas grabbed Rena's hand. "They found us. We have to go. Now." He moved quickly, grabbing a bag and stuffing tools, and the half-finished leg inside. He opened a trapdoor behind the workbench. "Ah, this leads to the alley. Stay close." Rena's heart pounded in her chest. She climbed down the narrow ladder, Jonas close behind. As they slipped into the dark passage, the front door crashed open, and heavy footsteps filled the shop above. They hurried through a maze of underground tunnels. The ground was wet, and the air smelled of earth and old metal. Above them, muffled shouts and boots echoed. Jonas led the way, always listening, always checking for danger. At one point, Rena stumbled. Jonas caught her before she fell. "Almost there," he whispered, squeezing her hand. She gripped the bag tighter, feeling the weight of the half-finished leg inside. After what felt like forever, they reached a small hatch that opened behind an old factory far from the market. Jonas climbed out first, checking the street. "Clear," he whispered, pulling Rena up. Night had fallen. The city lights glowed in the distance. Jonas helped Rena sit on a broken crate while he caught his breath. "We can't go back," he said. "They will watch my shop now. We need somewhere safe." Rena looked at the shadows and trash piles around them. She felt fear and anger. Why did they hunt her? She was just a broken girl who wanted to walk again. Jonas knelt beside her, looking her in the eyes. "Listen, Rena, you are not alone. I promise I will finish your leg. But now we must hide. I know someone who can help us." Suddenly, a voice spoke from the darkness, making them both jump. "Jonas, is that you?" Out of the shadows stepped a tall woman with shining metal arms. Her eyes glowed gentle blue. Jonas stood and hugged her. "Rena, this is Mara. She helped me once. Now she can help us." Rena stared in awe at Mara's metal arms. For the first time, she saw someone who was also fixed, someone who understood what it meant to be broken. Mara smiled kindly. "Come, both of you. My home is safe. You can finish your work there." They followed Mara into the darkness. Rena felt hope flicker in her chest. The chase was not over, but maybe, with new friends, she could finally stop running. Mara's home was nothing like Jonas's little shop. Her house was hidden behind heavy metal doors, deep inside an abandoned building. As they entered, Rena heard the doors lock with a heavy click. It felt safe and secret. No city guards could find them here. Inside, the rooms were full of light and soft music. Shelves overflowed with books, spare parts, and tiny blinking machines. On every wall, Mara's tools hung in perfect order, each one shining clean and ready. The air smelled fresh, not like old oil, but like flowers and sweet fruit. Mara led them to her lab-wide, bright room with a silver workbench and 2 chairs. The walls were covered in sketches of machines, prosthetic arms and legs, flying drones, and even robotic pets. Rena stared at everything in wonder. It was like entering another world. Jonas gently helped Rena sit at the table. He took out the half-finished leg from the bag, laying it on the bench. Mara watched with sharp, curious eyes. Mara smiled and rolled up her sleeves, revealing her metal arms. "You're lucky, Rena. Jonas is a genius with machines, but he always forgets to finish the small things. Together, we can build you something special." Rena nodded shyly. "Thank you for helping us. I've never seen anyone like you before." Mara knelt, so she was at Rena's level. "I was like you, once. I lost both my arms in a mining accident. People said I was broken, but Jonas found me. He gave me these arms and taught me how to fix things myself. Now, I help others." Rena touched Mara's arm gently. The metal was warm, almost alive. In Mara's smile, she saw hope. If Mara could become strong again, maybe Rena could too. Jonas and Mara got to work right away. Jonas explained the design, and Mara made careful adjustments, adding tiny wires and soft padding. "It has to fit you perfectly," Mara said. "No pain, no slipping. You must feel like it's yours." As they worked, Jonas asked Rena questions about her old life. "What was the best thing you ever did with your leg?" he asked. Rena smiled, thinking, "Running with my brother. Dancing with my mother under the rain. I want to feel that again, even just for 1 minute." Mara nodded. "Then we will make this leg not just strong, but beautiful too. Something that reminds you of home." For hours, the 3 of them worked as a team. Rena handed them tools and described the way her old leg used to move. Mara tested joints and fitted pieces together with gentle skill. Jonas checked every screw and wire twice as they finished the first fitting. Mara carefully attached the new leg to what was left of Rena's thigh. Rena braced herself for pain, but the feeling was strange, almost soft like a heavy shoe instead of a real leg. She wobbled as she stood, but Jonas held her steady. "Try," he said. "Just 1 step." Rena looked down at her new leg. Was shiny silver with blue lines like rivers running along its side. She took a careful step. The leg moved, stiff but solid. She smiled, surprised. "It works," she said. Mara and Jonas cheered quietly. Mara hugged her gently. "It will get easier. We'll practice every day." But the moment of happiness was short. Suddenly, a red light flashed on Mara's wall. She frowned and hurried to a computer screen. Jonas joined her. Rena hobbled over. Nervous, on the screen was a message in a strange code. Mara read it quickly, her face turning serious. "What's wrong?" Rena asked, her voice shaking. Mara turned to her. "The city guards have started scanning for illegal machines. They know someone is helping refugees. They're coming this way. We need to move, and we need to do it now. Jonas looked at Mara. Do you have a back way out? Mara nodded. Yes, but she hesitated, looking at Rena. There's something I must tell you both. Rena's heart skipped. What is it? Mara lowered her voice. Jonas, you never told her, did you? Jonas looked away, silent. Mara knelt beside Rena. This leg is not just any machine. It's special. It's built with a rare alien crystal. With it, you can do more than just walk. You might even be able to run, jump, maybe even heal faster than before. But that's why the guards want you. They want the crystal for their own weapons. Rena stared at her new leg. It was more than she ever dreamed, but also more dangerous. Jonas took her hand. We used the crystal because you are not broken, Rena. You are strong, and you deserve the best. But now we have to leave, before the guards find us. Rena nodded, trying to be brave. Let's go. Mara handed Jonas a map and a small bag. This tunnel leads to the old train station. There's a friend waiting there. Go now. I'll stay behind and slow them down. Rena wanted to argue, but Mara only smiled. Don't worry about me. I've survived worse. Jonas grabbed Rena's hand, and together they followed Mara through a hidden door at the back of the lab. The door slid shut behind them, and they hurried down a narrow staircase into the darkness. As they moved, Rena felt the weight of her new leg and the secret crystal inside it. She was scared, but she was not alone. Jonas squeezed her hand. You can do this, Rena. You're not just running anymore. Now, you're fighting for your future. Behind them, alarms rang out, and the city guards stormed Mara's lab. But Rena and Jonas moved forward, hope burning inside them like a new fire. The tunnel was cold, dark, and narrow. Jonas held a small light that threw strange shadows along the wet walls. Rena limped beside him, her new leg heavy and stiff at first, but with every step, she felt it grow warmer and lighter. As if it was waking up, the noise of alarms and shouting guards faded behind them. Rena breathed in the damp air, trying to steady her nerves. Every time her new foot touched the ground, she felt a spark travel up her side, strange, not unpleasant feeling. Jonas watched her closely. Are you all right? He whispered, pausing for a moment as they came to a fork in the tunnel. Rena nodded. It feels strange, but good. It's like the leg is learning with me. Jonas smiled. It is. The crystal inside adapts to your body. Soon, it will feel like it's a part of you. They took the left tunnel, following Mara's map. Pipes dripped above their heads. Rena's pace grew steadier. Her limp faded. She even began to walk faster than Jonas, surprising them both. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed behind them. Boots and shouts filled the tunnel. The city guards had broken through Mara's secret door. Jonas grabbed Rena's hand, and they ran. The tunnel echoing with their footsteps and the sharp clank of Rena's new leg. They raced down twisty paths, past broken machines and graffiti, until they saw the faint glow of daylight. At the tunnel's end was a metal grate, half hidden behind a pile of crates. Jonas pushed it open and helped Rena climb out. They found themselves behind the old train station, a massive, abandoned place with shattered windows and weeds pushing through cracked stone. Rena blinked in the sunlight, her heart racing. Her new leg tingling with strange energy. Inside the train station, the air was thick with dust. Jonas led Rena across the empty tracks to a waiting room where an old friend of Mara's, a short, round man named Tito, stood with a battered satchel. Quickly, Tito said, waving them over. Guards are everywhere. The next train leaves in 10 minutes. Rena and Jonas followed Tito up a hidden staircase, past empty ticket booths and silent clocks. Rena was surprised by how easy it was to move. Now her steps felt strong, almost too strong. At one point, she nearly stumbled as her new leg jerked forward on its own, faster than she expected. Jonas noticed. Careful. The crystal is powerful, but you must learn to control it. Focus on your balance. Trust yourself. Rena took a deep breath and tried again, this time listening to her body. Each step was smoother, stronger. She began to smile, amazed. She could almost run. Suddenly, the ground shook explosions in the distance. Alarms sounded from outside, and guards' voices echoed through the halls. Tito pointed to a narrow platform where a small, old train waited, steam hissing from its pipes. Go. I'll distract them. Jonas and Rena ran for the train. Just as they reached the doors, a group of guards burst into the station, shouting, "Stop them. Don't let the girl escape." Jonas pushed Rena inside and slammed the train door. He signaled to the conductor, who nodded and pulled a lever. The train jolted to life, wheels screeching, smoke pouring out. But the guards were fast. They fired stun bolts at the train. One bolt struck the door near Rena, sending sparks flying. Rena's new leg vibrated, and suddenly she felt a rush of power flow through her. The world seemed to slow down. Rena moved without thinking. She grabbed Jonas's arm and pulled him down, dodging another bolt. She leaped across the carriage, her new leg springing like a coiled wire. She landed without pain, her balance perfect. Jonas stared in shock. "Rena, how did you?" She barely heard him. The train was speeding up, rattling on the old tracks, but the guards had jumped onto the back platform. They were trying to break through. Rena felt the crystal pulsing in her leg. She stood up, steadied herself, and faced the door. "Stay back." She called to Jonas. Her voice sounded stronger than ever. The first guard broke through, aiming his weapon. Rena took a deep breath and jumped. Her new leg launched her forward, faster than any normal person. She hit the guard and knocked him to the floor. The second guard raised his stun stick, but Rena dodged her new body, responding with perfect speed. She didn't just fight. She danced. She felt energy running from her foot up to her chest, each move faster, more graceful. The guards couldn't catch her. Jonas pulled her away as the conductor shouted, "Hold on." The train shot out of the station, leaving the guards behind. Rena collapsed onto a seat, breathing hard but grinning. "I did it," she whispered. "I really did it." Jonas knelt beside her, pride shining in his eyes. "You were amazing, Rena. Your new leg saved us both." Rena looked at her leg, at the glowing lines of blue. "It's more than just a leg, isn't it?" Jonas nodded. "It's a part of you now. With it, you can do anything if you believe." Outside, the city faded behind them. Ahead, the track stretched into unknown lands. Rena touched her leg, feeling the hum of the crystal, and wondered what else she could do. She was no longer the broken alien girl for sale. She was strong, fast, and free. But in the shadows of the train, a silent warning appeared on the control screen. Project Broken Star Active Tracking. The danger was not over yet. Asterisk, the train thundered across the empty plains, far from the city's sharp lights and angry voices. Rena watched the world rush by through a cracked window. For the first time in months, the fear inside her began to fade. She pressed her hand against her new leg, feeling the crystal's steady heartbeat. It was warm, strong, and somehow alive. Jonas sat across from her, watching with quiet pride. He smiled every time Rena tested her balance, standing and moving from seat to seat with a confidence that grew stronger by the minute. The train rocked and rattled, but her steps were sure. "Are you all right?" Jonas asked gently. Rena nodded. "Better than all right, I feel. New, like the old me, but more." Jonas's face softened. You are not broken, Rena. You never were. You just needed a chance to show your strength. Rena touched her chest, feeling her heart thump, then looked at Jonas with shining eyes. Thank you for everything. For seeing me when nobody else would. Outside, the world turned from city ruins to wild open land, golden fields, blue rivers, forests thick with silver leaves. As the train sped onward, a sense of freedom filled the air. Rena breathed deeply, the scent of hope stronger than her old memories of smoke and fear. But their escape was not unnoticed in the front car. The conductor frowned at a glowing screen. The words Project Broken Star Active Tracking flashed, again and again in red. Jonas saw it and grew tense. He spoke softly, so Rena could not hear. We're not safe yet. The train slowed as it approached a lonely mountain station. Tito, Mara's friend, appeared and waved. We're here. The next part is on foot. I know a place where they can't follow. Jonas gathered their things. Rena, time to go. Rena nodded and stood. She took her first steps onto the gravel platform, feeling the new leg support her weight. It moved with her, as if it knew where she wanted to go. She smiled and took Jonas's hand. Together, with Tito leading, they disappeared into the deep woods. The forest was thick and quiet. The only sounds were birds and the wind. Rena moved more quickly now, learning to trust her new strength. The path was rough, with roots and stones, but she walked with growing speed. Suddenly, a distant whine of engines echoed behind them. Rena looked back. Small flying drones were searching the skies, red eyes flashing through the trees. Jonas whispered, "They've found us." "Keep moving, stay low." Tito pointed ahead. "There's a cave not far. The drones can't see inside." They hurried through the forest. Rena jumped over a fallen log. Her leg responded perfectly, launching her higher than she ever thought possible. She landed easily, breathless but not tired. In moments, they reached the mouth of a wide, dark cave. Tito led them inside, through twisting tunnels lit by glowing stones. Far from the drones, the cave opened to a secret clearing, hidden from above by tangled branches and high stone walls. Rena collapsed onto soft moss, laughing with relief. "We made it. They can't find us now." Jonas crouched beside her. He reached out, placing his hand gently on her new leg. "You are amazing, Rena. You escaped, you fought, and you found hope again." Rena looked at her reflection in a pool of clear water. She saw herself a girl with silver blue skin, shining eyes, and a strong, beautiful leg glowing with blue light. She no longer looked lost or afraid. As night fell, Jonas built a small fire. Tito cooked food from his pack-soft bread and roasted roots. They ate and talked, sharing stories of old times and dreams for the future. Rena listened, hope burning inside her. For the first time, she believed in her own future. She would search for her lost family, maybe even find others like her, those who were called broken, but who only needed a chance. Suddenly, a new message beeped softly on Jonas's communicator. He frowned, reading the screen, then showed it to Rena. The message said, "The government wants the crystal. They have sent a hunter, one who never fails." Rena's smile faded, but she sat up straighter. "They will not take it," she said. "This leg is mine. I will protect it, and I will protect anyone else like me." Jonas nodded. "You are stronger than they know, Rena, and you are not alone anymore." The stars blinked through the caves. Opening, Rena gazed up at them, her new leg glowing softly in the darkness. She thought about Mara, about her family somewhere in the universe, and about all the other lost ones searching for hope. A cold wind blew, but Rena did not feel afraid. She felt ready for the future, for the hunter, for whatever came next. The night grew quiet, and for the first time, Rena dreamed of more than just survival. She dreamed of running across endless fields, dancing in the rain, and leading others to safety. She was not a broken alien girl for sale anymore. She was a hero. And her story was just beginning.